What's up, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, trolls and citizens, the JJs and PPs? It's your boy Saiyan Lee giving you a review of the new Dragon Ball Superhero movie. This movie is one of those classic movies that just completely catch you off guard. I totally went into this with low expectations, as I kind of do with all film, and to be honest, with the trailers, seeing the new animation, I was sort of in the middle. I'm the kind of person that's an artistic rebel. Anytime someone defies artistic laws and logic, I tend to be biased towards the underdog, because just the fact of a creator being rebellious against what's typically done or what it's typically known for tends to spark my interest a lot. And man, oh man, this movie is not what I thought it was. In my opinion, this movie is a great mixture of the best parts of Battle of Gods meets the best parts of Dragon Ball Super Broly. The movie even starts great with this kind of mysterious setting and vibe to it, which I've always said, when the Red Ribbon Army comes to step in, shit usually always gets real. You're basically immediately thrown in, getting introduced to the Red Ribbon Army: Dr. Hito, Gamma 1 and 2, Magenta, and Carmen Electra. First of all, the character designs are beautiful. I absolutely love the way these characters look. I really love Dr. Hito. I don't know why, but he reminds me of like a chunky, thick Gerard Way. He's got like this kind of gothic vibe to him, and he's got like this super intense baby belly. And I know I said it again, but I just have to. I really enjoyed and appreciated the character designs. I thought they were really well done. It was such a beautiful screen, beautiful artwork, that I just couldn't help but my eyes popping out of my head like I was on all the Adderall, all 1,500 of them. And I really just loved the beginning of the movie, how it starts very much like a spy vibe, corporation trying to rule the world and get an army together, but quietly, and espionage. Also, if you're a true Dragon Ball fan like me, then you would appreciate some of the little small things. There's this scene where Carmen Electra is sitting down on a table, and he's like sitting there on a phone call, and you see the photos on the table, and it shows Colonel Violet there. My Dragon Ball nerdom, my Shenron exploded to full capacity, and I was like, wow, I can't believe Akira put that in there. Colonel Violet was a mysterious character, wasn't really in it too much, but was one of my favorite characters, and one of my favorite character designs of the original Dragon Ball, which came out in the mid to early 80s. So that fan service to true fans like me, and that callback was like icing on the cake. I mean, just nostalgic. So as soon as I saw that, I became very comfortable in my chair, and I was like, okay, I think this is gonna be a classic movie. They're paying attention to detail, and that really got me excited for the rest of the film. And the details, even in the human side of them being expressed, was greatly done. I mean, if you're looking for a Dragon Ball film where you want to see the human side of our characters, you're gonna get that a lot. When you're watching this, you'll kind of feel like, wow, these are just normal people. What I took from the movie was Gohan's struggle to sort of just have a normal life. There are a lot of Gohan fans that are upset at where Gohan is, that he's not a fighter, but yet those same people will complain about Dragon Ball being linear, which I've never fully understood. Gohan is one of the most complex Dragon Ball characters, and to me, he doesn't have to be a fighter. One could argue that Gohan never was a fighter to begin with, and the idea of Gohan going up and down with his power levels and his life journey, not being able to fully make decisions on what he wants to be in life, is such a relatable journey to me, and very human. I personally was never mad at Gohan's journey, and this is coming from someone who was the hugest Teen Gohan fan when he turned Super Saiyan 2. Come on now, who wasn't? And speaking of that Super Saiyan 2 hype, if you're looking for a lot of action, this isn't the movie for you. There's a climactic battle in between the middle of the movie and one at the end, but overall, this is very much a character building movie. For example, someone like Piccolo in this movie, his journey is him getting older and him sort of forgetting and trying to be the best family member and second father figure, uncle that he could be to Pan and Gohan and Goku's family. This is a rusty Piccolo, and he's very, very aware of it. I love that aspect to him because, like I said earlier, it's very much a human movie. If I were to make any comparison to the vibe and the essence of this movie, it's almost very much like Guardians of Galaxy, the first one, meets Spider-Man Homecoming. Just in the idea of it feels very campy with no boring moments, but at the same time gives you that great, beautiful, hardcore action that you know so well. I really love the new characters, Gamma and Gamma 2. They make you fall in love with them very quickly. One of the biggest downsides to the movie, in my opinion, is how Piccolo gets his powers. I'm starting to think that Dragon Ball is in this stage now where they're just using Shenron way too much. And in my opinion, increasing Shenron's abilities gives them a crutch for easier, less thought out ways to achieve their goals, which was never in the history of Dragon Ball. I mean, if they wanted power, they worked out for it hours, days, years. It was blood, stress, and tears. I think they could fix it by simply applying some GT into it, maybe utilizing the story of the Black Dragon Balls that created these negative Shenrons because they were using wishes so much. But that fact on how Piccolo achieved his new form kind of annoyed me a bit, and I wasn't fully happy with that part of the movie. But of course, in typical Dragon Ball fashion, it's so good that after a while you just forget it because the form is really lit. I also really enjoyed the twists in these movies that I didn't expect, where the villains actually became the allies, which completely made sense to me because Dr. Hito wasn't evil, so why would he create evil androids? Dr. Hito even being disappointed in himself at the end because he allowed the Red Ribbon Army to lead him on so that he could have the funding that he needed for all his science projects. Again, just that human aspect to this whole entire movie that I don't think people will really appreciate unless you're a real Dragon Ball fan, or maybe they'll appreciate it longer down the line. That's why also I was obsessed with Pan in this movie, and Bulma in particular. Bulma felt like this aunt that I just knew my whole life, that accomplished so much, that experienced so much in the world, and now she just wants to kick back and be fine and super thick. And you could just kind of feel Bulma's just getting older. She just wants to sit on the couch and be that young Bulma again, and her wishing for tighter skin and a youther look and a thicker booty was so human to me, and it's so core to who Bulma is. Bulma was always that way. She's a little gluttonous, she's a little petty, but that's what we love about her, right? I always felt like Bulma was the Tony Stark of anime. And Pan's journey in this movie was just absolutely fun to watch, just trying to see her keep up with everyone. Her feistiness to be strong because she has that half Saiyan blood in her was really fun and funny, and she brings a lot of levity and comedy to the movie that you wouldn't expect. She's Baby Videl, so seeing her try to fly was very nostalgic, and there's a lot of nostalgic moments in this movie that any true fan is just gonna smile and cheese really hard at. I also really like the fact that the final battle didn't feel like a sparring match. Even though I really enjoyed and I was obsessed with Dragon Ball Super Broly, there were no stakes, or high stakes really. The fights between them kind of felt like sparring matches, which were the best sparring matches of all time. But in this movie, it genuinely feels like they're fighting for their life. The ending battle is such a phenomenal battle. It's a great team fight. Very much reminds me of Age of Ultron vibes meets Dragon Ball Z Wrath of a Dragon. I was also extremely nervous to know that Cell was gonna make a return in this movie, for I am the biggest, hugest Cell nerd. I mean, that's the husbandu. And still to this day, he is my favorite villain in Dragon Ball of all time. But as a Cell fan, I wasn't disappointed at all. He's basically like this mindless sort of villain because he's completely unfinished, created by Dr. Hito. In the ending tag team battle, he literally turns into this giant Cell. And I love that about him. His character design was beautiful, the color was beautiful, the fight was amazing, guys. Really amazing fight. And I wasn't angry at a mindless Cell. Cell is so much of a rich villain to me that you can't just bring him back to this sort of sentient being just for him to be in an hour and 55-minute movie to just die at the end. I would have actually hated that. I really enjoyed what they did with him. This sort of possessed Cell, not really Cell. And he was truly scary. Like truly scary. Even when I was watching the final battle, I just kept thinking, wow, this movie could have came out in Christmas. Just one of those films that you're supposed to take your nephews and nieces and family together to just have a really great time. Gohan's new form was also incredibly nostalgic to the Super Saiyan 2 Gohan we knew against Cell, even though this transformation feels very much more like a darker version of Gohan. And there are a lot of those fan service moments in this movie, and it's done really well. Guys, if you were doubting this movie, I think this movie will completely throw you off guard. You will see such a human side to the characters that we've known for so long. You get to see amazing action even though it doesn't overcrowd the movie at all. The comedy is really great. Found myself laughing way more than I thought I would. And the movie is truly bootyful. Absolutely bootyful. Great pacing, really great dialogue, and the action in this movie is super lit. Saiyan League is gonna give this thick movie a solid 8.7. There's so many aspects that I like in this movie more than I do Dragon Ball Super Broly, and I've watched that movie at least 5,000 times. I highly recommend you see this in the movie theaters because that's the ultimate experience. I watched it in XD. I highly recommend XD or IMAX. That is the way to go. Anyway, that's my review for Dragon Ball Super Hero. If you like this review, dislike it. If you hated this review, like it. I'm Saiyan League. Shut up. You should be